Well, the St. Louis Cardinals just pulled off a series victory over the reigning World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers and their all-star studded lineup and kind of pitching staff right now. We'll break down the Cardinals series victory at Busch Stadium coming off the heels of a disappointing Kansas City Royals series, how much we're gleaning and excited about from this series. Is there anything to really take away from Sunday's game and be all that frustrated about? And maybe a little bit of a John Mozeliak big picture retrospective, considering we just had our final blogger day with him this weekend on this episode of Dealing the Cards. Welcome back into Dealing the Cards. Josh, joined by Andrew as always. Sandy's out today, but we've got a lot to talk about. We were talking about it leaving the ballpark yesterday, Andrew. We were saying, of course, the Cardinals are probably going to lose on Sunday, and it's probably going to kill the good vibes because people just can't remember that they just won 2 games. They won a series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. If we were coming into this series and you were telling me they're going to win the series, I would have been like, let's go. You beat the Dodgers in a series. And all people can focus on right now was Michael McGrevy gave it 4 runs, which wasn't really that bad, and the performance today. But anyways, I'm painting with a broad stroke right now because I don't think everyone's like that, but it does feel like those loud voices get to rain on the parade a little bit here. But I want to talk about the exciting stuff first, and then we can maybe break down some of today's game today. But obviously the Cardinals took 2 of 3 from Los Angeles Dodgers. They beat Yamamoto yesterday. They stayed in the game. Eric Fedde pitched well enough to win that game, obviously. Again, we on the channel are pretty open about our concerns about Eric Fedde overall, but again, he got the job done. Friday night was a gem from Sonny Gray. Bullpen, Phil Maton just had an iconic performance with 2 runners in scoring position, just held them in check. Ryan Helsley pitched pretty well yesterday, even though he got the blown save. Cardinals walk it off with Nolan Arenado. Again, Friday they went 5-0. Today they lose 7-3, but they battled back. You had McGrevy on the mound. Tough. I think it's a good outing for McGrevy, especially spot start coming against best lineup in baseball. And the Cardinals did put up 4 runs, but looking at the series overall, I don't have a lot to complain about. Again, playing against one of the best teams in baseball. I think they now have the second, or at least yesterday, they had the second best record in all of baseball against teams above 500. They've taken a series from the Dodgers. Have they taken 2 from the Phillies?
Yeah, they did.
Taking 1 from the Astros. They 1 from the Mets. Anyways, they've won a lot of series against these teams that we talk about as the class of baseball. They beat the Detroit. They took the series from the Detroit Tigers too, right?
No, they lost that series, but
but they beat Skubal, right, in one of those games.
Well, they hit him well, but they lost that game at the end.
Man, I'm saying you're just and I'm asking for it. You're like a community noticing me every time. I'm like, oh, they won the series. No, they didn't. Oh, they beat Skubal. No, they didn't. Anyways, but you get the point. They played really well. My brain's all over the place right now. Do you? You follow the Dodgers quite a bit, obviously, because you're Shohei Ohtani love. Cardinals beat the Dodgers this weekend. Did you walk away feeling better about this team after the weekend? About the same? Worse because of Sunday's performance? What are your vibes after a series victory over the Dodgers?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel like some of these wins, could have gone either way for some between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. I know up until today, there was a certain point where I think the Dodgers were 1 for 30 with runners in scoring position. That's just sustainably bad. That's not really something that's going to happen. I think Eric Fedde got pretty lucky there yesterday to start to not give up a run, but he ended up getting the job done, making pitches when he needed to, and Steven Matz coming in to clean up his mess in the 6th inning was also pretty helpful for the team. But overall, I'm not very. There's not a lot to be concerned about. Michael McGreevy's not going to go out and shut every team out. That's just not who he's going to be, and that's fine. Right? You're expecting him to be middle rotation starter at best. And, that's kind of what he's been in the big league so far. And this is a team that's pretty lefty heavy. You got guys that really hit righties well. Shohei and Freddie, obviously, and then Max Muncy. And even I think Conforto got a hit today, which was not great. But, it's going to happen to you sometimes. That lineup is deep enough where you can kind of hide a Conforto who's had a horrible year, and Kim, who's been a really good find for them from the KBO, has been hitting well from the 9 spot. So I mean, it's a tough lineup for anybody to go against, and to have held them to just one run. And honestly, that was a very fake run. Like you had Shohei hit the ball off the second base bag yesterday, and then
Yeah.
the pass ball or wild pitch, whatever, for Baez not getting in front of that strikeout pitch to Freddie Freeman was like, yeah, that's kind of a weird fluky run anyway. So you're not going to hold the Dodgers to nothing all weekend, right? They have to score at some point. These are guys that are being paid millions and millions of dollars to hit the baseball, and the Cardinals aren't paying anyone nearly that much. So I mean, to take 2 out of 3 from them is pretty good. And you know, I wasn't expecting the Dodgers to just go quietly today against McGrevy. Like it's not realistic to hold them to that few runs in like 3 games. It's not what that team does. That's not what the Cardinals pitching is really built for.
Yeah. I think your point about the Dodgers with runners in scoring positions is a really fair one, and some that others have made. And I could see both sides of the argument where it's like, I mean, the Dodgers just be a little bit more like the Dodgers and come through a couple of those times. Like they could have swept this series. But you could also argue like the Cardinals played well in those spots. And if the Cardinals were that team who went 1 for 31 stretch with runners in scoring position, guess what? Then people are saying that the Cardinals offense needs to be better. And so I again, like you can get into a playoff series and like again, the Dodgers are going to win the NL West. I'd be shocked if they don't. But like, there's a world where the Dodgers are the top wild card and the Cardinals are the third wild card, and they get into a 3-game series, and it's like, okay, in a 3-game series, the Dodgers could be out in 2 games because their offense just doesn't come through and run score position spots, right? Like that's baseball. We saw it with the Cardinals and Phillies not last year, 2022, when again they came up against really good pitching, but like their offense just couldn't come through in the spots that matter most. And most people thought they were going to make it to the NLDS, and they dropped in the wild card series. That's what I walk away from the series is if the Dodgers and Cardinals are playing each other in the playoffs, I think I think no one can say with a straight face that they like the Cardinals over the Dodgers in that series, right? Like you can't look at least at the rosters, right? Like on paper, the Dodgers are the better team. It just clearly, and especially as they.
I mean, they're also not going to start Justin Robleski and Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, presumably, right? Presumably, Glasnow, Snell,
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Probably healthy by October. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Is like assuming they get healthier, it gets even more lopsided on paper. But again, I still think what this Cardinals team is showing you is they can beat anybody, and that's all you got to ask for to stay in a playoff race and to be able, if you make October, to do something. I like this team. I think it can do some things. Now, are there holes with it? Is it a perfect team? By any means, no. Actually, I think people would be surprised, but if you go look at these team rankings that we've been kind of talking about all year with offense, rotation, bullpen, like their bullpen's now close to 20th in all baseball in ERA. Also, Andrew, your camera's shaking a little bit, just so you know.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. The offense is actually kind of fallen off a little bit. They're like 12th and 13th in batting average on base percentage when they're like top 4 in batting average all year as a team. There's just they're 11th in batting average as a team this year when they're top 5 all year. On base percentage, they're down now to 14th. Slugging percentage, they're now down to 19th. I think OPS, they're down to 18th as an offense. That I'm like, okay, like they have not played as well on paper as of late. They've been getting the wins still, and I think that's a scrappy thing about this team you really gotta like. But there is some concern to be like, okay, well, like, and again, I'm not gonna like they just beat the Dodgers. I'm excited about what they're doing, but there is reasons like, hey, Contreras, Ivan, Burleson, Donovan in the middle of the order got to produce. Like Newbar didn't have a good series. Again, Ivan hasn't been quite himself lately. The rotation has had cracks in it as of late. The bullpen, like Leahy hasn't been all that good, and like Maton obviously shoved, but like you're kind of concerned about Helsley. JoJo kind of depends on the day, and then you get to the lower tier of Cardinal relievers when you get to like the Savantson and the Kings of the world. You're like, oh boy, like what's going to happen here? There are reasons to be like, hey, this could go in the other direction. But again, they're a game out of the wild card right now, 4 games back in the division, just beat the Dodgers of the weekend. I don't know how you don't have good things to say about this team right now. But it doesn't mean you can't bring up valid concerns about what's going on coming forward. Now, one thing I will not hear crap about this week, especially from, I'm going to be honest, like love all of you guys and like really appreciate the interactions. But like some of y'all that had called for Michael McGrevy all season and now you're flip flopping on him and freaking out about how he performed against the Dodgers today, that killed me. I like wanted to like delete Twitter after today when I was seeing people freaking out and be like, "Oh, Michael McGrevy sucks. Like, what's going on?" It's like, okay, I'm sorry. Wasn't everyone calling for him all year? And then he has I don't even know if I call it a bad outing against the Dodgers. He had a bad start to the game. And then he rebounded and gave up one more run the rest of the game. He had a lot of hard contact early on, which is concerning. But again, it's the Dodgers line of all people. But their average exit velocity off him today, they were hitting. I think they had like 8 of their first 10 balls they hit were 95 miles per hour or better. After that, or actually the whole game, he rebounded so much that the average exit velocity against him today was 88 miles per hour. He had a called strike and whiff percentage of 26% on the day, which is so about fourth the pitches he was throwing, someone was whiffing at or watching for a strike go by. I like these things from a Michael McGreevy, especially when you're going against a lineup that just crushes right-handed pitching like the Los Angeles Dodgers. He gets a spot start. I know he had that appearance against the Mets where he was money. But also the other thing is, I mean, if people have realistic expectations for Michael McGreevy, no one thought he's a sub-2 ERA guy. No one, right? Like, we got McGreevy. He gave you 6. He gave up 4. Do you want more, like 3 or less? Of course. But to freak out about Michael McGreevy today, I was like, all right, like tapping out. This is so annoying. I can't deal with this. Were you at all concerned or frustrated about Michael McGreevy today? Or are you
I
kind of
was
like,
looking at Twitter. I was at the game, so I'm glad I didn't see that. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed because I'd never seen McGreevy pitch in person before, and was like kind of excited. Went on underdog, made some picks that were favorable towards him, and I didn't get any of them right, which is great. But yeah, I don't know. Like he had a sub to like sub 1.5, I think, going into today in his career. Obviously, I think that's gone up a little bit.
yeah, it's
He's
like
still at a
or 3 on the
309 ERA on
season.
the season, which is like,
Yeah.
come on, 0.86 WHIP. He had he ended up finishing the game pretty strong. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did he give up? Like, he gave up another run, I know, but
Yeah, it was on like a 55 mile per hour hit by someone. I can't even remember.
oh, it was by Tommy Edman.
And
Oh,
on the year 6 or on his career now, 6 games at the big league level, 2.34 ERA. Like for Michael McGreevy, if he was pitching a full season for St. Louis right now, I'd be happy if it's in the 4.2, 4.3 range. Like
yeah. I mean,
really happy. If it's sub 4, I'd be ecstatic. Like we're talking about a back end of the rotation guy, maybe middle of the rotation guy. I just don't. It
yeah.
just frustrates me sometimes when it's like, oh no, elite offense that has 3 former MVPs in it puts up 4 runs on guy who's made his 4th MLB start, who's a
I mean,
back end of the rotation guy.
to be fair,
Wow,
you did
crazy.
hold Otani and Betts to just 2 hits. I know Betts had a home run, but that was off John King, who, whatever, John King, whatever. Sandy's not here to defend that guy. But like you did hold Otani, Betts, and Freeman to just 1 hit, the double to start the game. Most of the damage was done by the bottom of the order. Muncy had 2 hits, Smith 2 hits, Conforto a hit, Edman a hit or 2 hits, and then Kim with another hit. So like you're not really giving up the hits to the guys that you would expect to be doing all the damage. But I mean, honestly, the rest of the Dodgers, like Muncy's a good hitter. Smith is a good hitter. Tommy Edman, you knew he was gonna I think he was 0 for the entire series. Like you knew he was gonna show up at some point back here. So I mean, I'm not too upset about that. And Kim's just been kind of on a crazy run, but
Yeah, I mean, you look at this Dodger lineup today, and I just don't. I mean, I know Conforto is struggling, but overall, like, there's not really easy outs in this. I mean, you can argue maybe he's the only guy where he comes up to the plate right now, and you're like, you should get Conforto out because he's a sub 600 OPS, but everyone's 780 or above, or I guess Edmonds 740. But like, I think we all know Tommy Edman can grind out at bats like anyone.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not like this team is good, and did he get a little bit lucky in the first inning? Because I'm seeing the lines out sharply. So yeah, those were pretty hard hit. Honestly, I thought they got through from the outfield bleachers, but like, yeah, I'm not worried about that really much at all. Honestly, like if you're mad at Michael McGreevy for the start, then I don't really know what to tell you because Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers have lit up pitchers that are much better than him this year, and it's just how it's going to go.
Yeah. So overall, I felt really good about the Cardinals this series. Saturday, and some people in the chat said they went to Saturday's game. We were at Saturday's game. I mean, it felt the vibes were awesome, and like I didn't wasn't at Friday obviously, but just kind of watching that go down, like it's felt like a playoff series. I think this is, I mean, what was it that series in Philadelphia earlier this year where the Cardinals played incredible. Like there's been a lot of series where the Cardinals just have played incredible opponents and have looked great, and the atmosphere, the vibes there, it feels like a playoff game. They're competing like it's a playoff game. I think one of the underrated parts about this team, Mo kind of talked about it with us on Saturday. I know we want to talk a little bit about it, and others have said it before too, but I think it's a fair point. This Cardinal team really doesn't get blown out. There's very few games this year where like the Cardinals aren't in it. And even when they're down 5-6 early in the game, you kind of have to at this point realize that they could come back. Like this isn't a team that rolls over. And again, like we got to remember where we're at expectations wise early in the year. Most of the people in this chat, most people watching, most people, you and me, were not picking this team to be very good this year. And I picked them 80 and 82. And for this to be what we're seeing from them, I just continue to be encouraged by what we're seeing. You can do both things at once, though. You can be encouraged and excited about something while also realizing, hey, like there are some things that they need to be concerned about, worried about. I do think the next few weeks is going to start to be, and we'll see, but if they keep winning games over the next few weeks, but they're like overall team performance wise, you look at the box scores and they're not kind of rebounding to look more like a top 10 offense. Their pitching continues to regress across the board and they're just somehow winning games in the midst of it. I think I'm going to start to be a little bit more concerned in terms of like, hey, they're winning games, which is fun, but like, I don't know how sustainable this is. Kind of like, remember when they went everyone remembers they went like 33-19 or something like that last year.
Yeah, it's
And
Ollie magic. It's not unsustainable with Ollie doing his thing. I'll tell you right there.
Ollie needs thrown out again, I guess. I don't know.
Dave
like,
Roberts
end of the day,
yesterday, and maybe that's what fired up the Dodgers. So.
End of the day, you need wins in the win column, and so that's what you're gonna cling to. But I do think it's fair to say, hey, this offense as a whole is just kind of sputtering right now. The bullpen, I don't think any of us feel great about, and the rotation we've all had concerns about all year. And we talked about it a little bit last podcast, I think a little bit, and then I was talking about it yesterday with someone. Like, it does feel like if there's an upside play for this team right now, like if you want to kind of raise their ceiling a little bit or kind of change some of the concerns, the only thing I can think of is if Quinn Matthews can get to a point in the near-ish future where you feel confident calling him up and hoping that he is a guy that's a true difference maker in the rotation. But it's too soon to do that right now, and I'm not here to tell you I think that's going to work. And then like same with like a later in the year you get aggressive with Takao Roby, but I'm not clamoring for it. I'm not saying the Cardinals need to do that, but there is a little bit part of me where I'm like, like I don't know how much more they're going to get from Fetty, how much more they're going to get from anyone in the rotation other than Sonny Gray continuing to pitch well. Again, I've seen some people say like let Quinn stay in Memphis. I agree. I'm just saying like at some point, like if you're trying to figure out what's the upside, because I don't think the Cardinals are going to make some crazy trade deadline move where they go and get a frontline starter or a big bat. Like you've really got to look at, is Lars Nootbaar going to figure it out? Is Ivan Herrera going to produce like he was earlier in the year, which he's still producing fine, just not as good as he was? Is Burleson going to be able to be that guy? Can Walker be that guy when he comes back? Contreras has kind of gone back and forth at times. But again, the rest of the National League also has their questions, right? Like the Dodgers have all these injuries. The Diamondbacks just lost Corbin Burns, and they're behind you in the standings. The Braves have just continued to dig themselves a hole. So I think there's just a lot of factors to look at right now. Is the club playing well? Are they getting wins in the win column? Obviously, it's the most important thing, but what's the state of the rest of the National League? And go from there. So let's thank a couple of our sponsors real quick, and then maybe we can do a little bit of a Mo retrospective from Blogger Day. Maybe we'll do some big picture Mo thoughts, even though I'm sure we'll do that toward the end of the season. But we always want to thank our presenting sponsor, 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're located at 9640 All Boulevard in Olivet. Open 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. They buy, sell, and trade all sports cards and Pokemon cards. They have the newest selections of packs, boxes, and single cards of local players and stars from around the league. Make sure you go check out all the cards they've got in stock, or if you're chasing a certain card, they might have it there. They've even got like F1 cards and MMA and hockey and just all these other things. Hockey, I knew there were cards, but who knew that driving NASCAR, they had cards, but maybe everyone else did. But they've always got a cool selection. And they've got other memorabilia as well. So make sure to go check out 314 They're incredible partners to work with. And we also want to tell you about our partnership with Underdog Sports. The Deal on the Cards podcast is proud to be partnered with Underdog Sports, our favorite place to play fantasy games. You're now eligible to play in Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, and 37 other U.S. states. You got to check out Pick'em. It's so easy to play. You just pick 2 to 8 stats of your favorite players and choose whether they'll go higher or lower. You can win 20 times your money by going 5 for 5. If that sounds like fun, sign up with our promo code CARDS to claim your first free pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We can't wait to see your entries. Remember to use that promo code CARDS when you download Underdog Sports. So you can download it in the description or just look it up on the App Store. If you use that promo code CARDS, you get a first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a first free pick'em using that promo code. So it's fun to play. Make sure you use it. Thanks that our Underdog Sports are partnering with us. So, Andrew, we had Blogger Day over at Busch Stadium. They gave us a Dodger game this year, which is kind of wild. I highly recommend. I think it's Stu over on Twitter is when we posted the video, but we had a little present and card we gave Mo, and he got a good kick out of that. Was laughing a little bit, little bobblehead of himself that we gave him, and all signed a little card, just saying. I mean, first of all, even if you're listening, you don't like Mo, I get it, but. And we've had our plenty of times where we've been critical of John Mozeliak, but the fact that I did not press the button, the fact that they like most organizations don't give the non like traditional media that kind of access to, and don't. I mean, we've been like we were a winter warm up this last year, and that was awesome. And like most of them aren't going to give you a box and pay for you to go to a game and all inclusive food and talk with Mozeliak for a while, and he's pretty candid. Like he's not just giving you super generic stuff. Like there's stuff he's not going to tell you because he's not going to tell anyone that. Like if someone's like, "Who are you looking to trade for the deadline?" Like he's not going to tell you that. Like he's not going to tell Derek Gould that either. But I just appreciate the generosity they've shown. They've done that event for like 11 years now or something like that, 14 years now, and it was a fun time. So. Andrew asked a little bit about deadline plans, and you can fill people in if you want to. I asked him kind of about that Bloom transition, specifically because on MLB Network recently, he made it seem like that Bloom may kind of step more into the head role in August, September range rather than like just straight up in October. And so I tried to kind of get some clarity on that, but he kind of kept it coy, and I'm not surprised by that. But I did like the analogy he shared at the beginning because it's something we've talked about on the podcast. I've written about a little bit. For as much frustration as many of us have had about Mo running the show this year, and I think it's fair, right? Because we've brought it up too. The advantage of having him in this transition year that he talked about, and I think it's a fair point to at least consider. I'm not saying you need to agree with it, but it's something to consider. Is most people in baseball or any other sports league, like I would love in the chat. Like I'm not saying it's like a sarcastic thing. Like help me think of examples. And the Blues are doing this right now, their transition of leadership, but. What are some other examples of an organization like clearly defining a transition of power from one era to the next in leadership? It doesn't really happen. Like most of the time you get fired or you retire and then you bring in someone from the outside and they have to like run the show and learn everything around them at the same time, or you promote from within. But they're still learning the job at the same time. What Bloom's gotten to do for 2 years now before he actually steps in the role is he came in as an advisor, and it's pretty clear that he was going to be the next guy pretty quickly. He did his whole audit. He kind of takes a year to study the organization, and then he gets named Pobo in waiting. He then takes a whole year to implement those changes across the organization that many of us have asked for, but he doesn't have to handle the day-to-day at the major league level, the trades, some of these things that Mozeliak's kind of keeping his eye on. He gets to really get his hands dirty with all these other things that he could do it while he's Pobo, but he's also going to balance all these other things. By the time he steps in to the role in October, he's going to have such a head start compared to most people who start in that kind of role in a way that I think it's fair to have higher expectations of Bloom, because he basically got a 2-year trial period before he actually had to jump into the role, when most guys, again, they're interviewing for the job and the next week they have the job, right? And then it's like, oh, now run the show. He had 2 years to figure things out. Doesn't mean it's going to change overnight, but like it's good. So like he uses this idea of like he's got the wind at his back, the wind in his sails. He's gotten a year to get to know the people around him. So I'm just bringing his name up as an example, but like Randy Flores, like Bloom should know by October, like is Randy Flores the best scouting director for him? If he is, great. If he's not, go find one. Clearly, there were some retirements from the Cardinals front office with Gary LaRocque last year, and now Rob Cerfolio came in. It's not a coincidence, right? Like Bloom clearly wanted some differing views in the player development department. I walk away from that and I'm like, I get it. I really understand why they did it this way. And there's some cons. There's some things that happened this year that I don't know if they happen under Bloom, but I think there's long-term things that could be really helpful from this. When you heard Mo talk about that, like, did it give you any like confidence at all that this transition plan was a good idea? Or you're like, yeah, nice way to say it, but that you're kind of defending the fact you still have a job. I still disagree.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like Mo, like, he didn't really do anything this season or this off season, but like, he didn't like need to do much. Like, I struggle to realize, like, with giving the runway to the young players, like what they really could have added. Like a bullpen, obviously, I think Cardinals would probably be in first place if they added a couple more bullpen guys in this offseason just to bolster that. And like, I don't really care about giving runway to Ryan Fernandez because he's a Rule 5 guy, and and then he was awful. So like things like that, maybe like he could have done better with. But like honestly, there's not a lot of moves that need to be made in a year where like yeah, trade Eric Fetty. That's a thing that should have happened. But I mean, Bloom could have tried to trade Arenado too, right? And like the most said that he thought they were close to deal with Boston, which I don't know if that was like publicized. I know that was like heavily rumored, but I don't think anyone has.
Yeah, I think at that point it'd be reported that's like, hey, if Nato doesn't or if Bregman doesn't go to Boston, they will go pivot to Nato. But
Yeah.
no one really said like a deal was in place. But
Yeah,
then
so like
Bregman signed.
I think Mo did say that they were like on the 1 yard line with something like that, which like I don't know if Heim was in charge, would he have traded Arenado? Like maybe, but probably not, right? Like the Dodgers definitely not interested. The Yankees probably do need a third baseman, but they weren't interested in the offseason.
But that's the thing, though. Like you're naming people who weren't interested. If Bloom's in charge, that doesn't make them interested.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
and then
I don't think like
and like
I don't
Nato
think Bloom
rejected
would've
Houston, so
anymore.
that's not Mo's problem.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, the people who like the dumb like I can't remember who the Astros GM is right now, but they're an idiot. Because like apparently like they have this deal in place for Nolan Arenado, and then they trade Kyle Tucker, and Nolan Arenado's like, wait, you just trade Kyle Tucker? I don't want to go there. Like he should have been thinking like maybe I shouldn't trade my superstar outfielder away if I'm trying to get this guy.
Astros are also in first place right now. Like I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
actually, they have the same record as the Cardinals.
It worked out for them that they don't have Nolan Arenado. I'm just joking. I'm just saying, like, if they really wanted Nolan, the train of the sequence of events did not make sense.
Well, they also got Paredes, who's been better than Arenado this year.
Yeah, but they would have probably played Paredes at first base or second base to fit Nato in.
Yeah, so I don't know. But then they wouldn't have signed Walker, and Walker's probably been better than Arenado too. I don't know. I don't keep up with the Astros. They're not.
In retro, I'm not commenting on if the Astros should have done the deal. I'm just joking to like mess around.
Oh yeah.
If they wanted that deal to happen, they killed it themselves. But
like I don't know. Arenado's been kind of a liability offensively this year, which whatever. Like I'm not mad at Mo for keeping that. Am I a little bit upset that they didn't trade Eric Fetty? Yeah, sure, but honestly, so far Eric Fetty's giving you the results. So if he keeps being a luck merchant throughout the rest of the year, then whatever, man. Like that's fine. He won't be on the team next year, hopefully, unless they extend him like they did with Michaelis. But hopefully not. But like Contreras wasn't going to be traded. Gray wasn't going to be traded. Like I don't know who else like they could have even like made moves for other than Fetty and like Arenado and Matz maybe, but I don't. I think the report was that nobody was interested in Matz, and they did try to move him. And Matz has been great, so I don't really care. Like, good to have him on the roster. So I don't really know like what Mo could have done this offseason other than just add a couple bullpen arms. Which would Bloom have done that either way? Like I don't know. It's not a huge deal considering we didn't expect this team to really be good at all.
True. Yeah. So, I mean, again, I think we've been pretty honest that there's some things we would have done, but they didn't do, and whatever. It's past this point. We'll see what they do now. Again, I do think big picture wise, like there's more, like I know that's hard for us to wrap our heads around because we're not the ones doing it, but there's more to the job than just trading and signing guys. He was talking about all the different buckets of things you have to do, whether it's business side, the international scouting, the amateur scouting, the player development, the trades, the signings, the all the staff he oversees in baseball operations. Like there's a lot that goes into this role. And so Mo being able to take a lot of that off Bloom's plate this year for Bloom to really get his hands dirty with the things that need to be changed systemically in order for this organization to have the success it needs to have moving forward. And I feel like we're already starting to see some of the results of that. Highly encouraging. Let's talk. You asked him about the deadline. I guess you can, if you want to recap kind of what he said with that, we can talk about it.
I mean, I think it's pretty vague where it's like, yeah, we'll see what happens. And if we're playing well, maybe we'll add something. If we're not playing well, then we'll trade people. I was like, yeah, fair enough. I guess he's not really going to tip his hand and be like, yeah, we're going to go all in on a big swing. And I didn't really expect him to do that. I just wanted to see what he would say. But I mean, I don't expect them to make a big swing at the trade deadline unless it's for like, I don't know, like I can't even think of a player who would be available with a lot of control or it's like worth trading for. Maybe Sandy Alcantara, you like get him for nothing, but then you get him for Nolan Gorman, and Nolan Gorman turns into an MVP candidate, and Sandy Alcantara is just awful because that's what the Marlins do. They'll double dip with that. Great. And I thought it was funny that he would reminisce on the Ozuna trade. So I don't think he would actually do that and bring him back. But I don't know. Maybe there is a play where you trade like a one of your younger prospects that's blocked, like Sajayce's like kind of blocked by a lot of guys right now, and you move him for an interesting piece at the deadline. Like I wouldn't be opposed to something like that where it's like if this team truly is like contending for a division title at the end of July and it looks like, you know, I don't know what the Cubs would add. Like obviously pitching, but like I don't know how much good pitching is going to be available on the market, especially with so many teams, you know, in contention still. And just how the new wild card system works. Like they're going to probably have to overpay for something like that. But like if the Cardinals really want to make a swing, I'm sure like Mo's made some pretty savvy moves like Jordan Montgomery, like he moved injured Harrison Bader for Tommy Edman trade. Obviously is kind of controversial now. Like I don't know. I would be fine with the Tommy Edman trade if they traded Eric Fetty for good prospects, but they didn't do that. And now it kind of looks just not good. But you know, things like that where you don't necessarily give up prospects, but you still get something back and you don't really hurt your major league team that much.
Yeah.
Either, where it's like Harrison Bader wasn't really going to play for you. Tommy Edman, like, I don't know. The card, like, I think if they had Tommy Edman instead of Eric Fetty last year, I don't know, maybe they win a couple more games if Edman's healthy and hot down the stretch, but like, do you make the playoffs? Probably not. Like, so I'm not really hung up on that either.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for us to talk soon about maybe throw some name like because we are starting to get into that season. It's we don't really know who the buyers and sellers will be. Honestly, I don't really know what the Cardinals' needs are yet. I mean, you can name a bunch of things they could do, but I don't know what's the actual pressing needs at this point. What's realistic? Yeah. But it'd be interesting.
Maybe you move Arenado for like a major league player or something. You eat some of the salary and you get something like I don't know. There's maybe a world for that.
Yeah,
like
maybe
you just want him and like you get. I don't know. You eat all of his salary and you get like a starter or something like a back end starter.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know what you're gonna get.
But so let me say this real quick and from the chat, and then I'll kind of finish my other point. But Samuel, this is basically what Mo said to Andrew, which I think was fair. But I'm glad Andrew asked the question because I think it needed to be asked. But like Mo was like, it's too early to tell because they could do nothing, they could sit. They could buy, they could sell, or they could buy and sell because who knows what the team looks like by the time the trade deadline comes around, right? I do think, though, it would be interesting for us to do an episode soon where we kind of throw out some names of guys that we could do the expendable assets, right? Or it's not an expendable, but expiring assets that they could go after. But it would be interesting to start looking at some names. Like, what are some guys that they could buy for the future, right? Like, I'm thinking guys on multi-year contracts or guys that have team control left that it could help you for the stretch run here, but they're not. It's like Eric Fetty last year, right? Where you had another year of control so they can help you in 2026 or he could help you in 2025. Could you go get a Sandy Alcantara? Or again, I'm throwing names out there. I'm not saying these actual names, but I'm talking about guys that are on contracts like Rafi Devers, Sandy Alcantara, Jaron Duran, people like, I don't think either of those three things are happening, but like, it'd be interesting to start thinking of some names. Like, are there fits potentially that they could consider? Cause I do think that's maybe if they're going to buy something, I would think they'd want to buy something with control. But then you got to figure out what you take. If you're gonna buy something with control that's worthwhile, it's going to take real assets to do it. So is that repackaging some of your clogged big league assets like Alec Burleson or Nolan Gorman or Jordan Walker or Thomas JC? Is it using some of your pitching right now? Like, I don't know what you do. Or do you trade Nolan Arenado and Eric Fedde to get prospects, and then you repackage some of those prospects or some of your current prospects to go get someone, but then you don't really lose much depth organizationally because you made those moves too? Like, how do they get creative? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of handle all of that. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're probably get mean for this, but it was kind of bittersweet when Mo was kind of walking out. I wasn't gonna take a picture of them, but Andrew basically pushed me across the room to do it.
No, it had to be done.
Here we go.
It had to be done.
And it wasn't not just because it wasn't because I didn't want like him, but it's just like, I don't know.
You just didn't want people on Twitter commenting.
No, it was more so. I felt kind of weird about a line building up. I was like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, whatever. Okay.
He signs autographs at winter warm-up. Like, people get photos with Mo at winter warm-up. And
yeah,
I think his autographs are free. So
it was like, more so to respect his time. Like, I was like, I appreciate the time. I don't want to keep too much longer. But anyways, I did it. But as he walked out, it's kind of like, it's kind of like it's ending. Like, it's coming to an end. It's kind of bittersweet. And like, again, obviously we've been talking about all offseason. I'm fully in agreement. Like, I'm ready for the Bloom era to start. I'm ready for things to change. But is it wrong to say I'm kind of sad John Mozeliak's leaving?
Mo's kind of funny to interact with, man. Like, I don't know. I've had some interesting interactions with him where I'll say something and he'll say something snarky back. But it's like, it's kind of funny. I don't think Bloom's that kind of guy, but like, I don't know. I don't think Bloom's the kind of guy to like talk back at people who ask dumb questions. And like, do I ask dumb questions from time to time? Yeah, I asked an intentionally dumb question last year. Okay, like, that's fine. Someone asked him if a hot dog was a sandwich. Okay, and after that, I was like, okay, fine, I'll ask my dumb question. So like, there's things like that I'll like. I don't know. Do you miss it? Like, that's not why you hire a Pobo, is for him to give good interviews. Like, you hire him to build a team that's going to win and be competitive. So like,
for sure
about that. But
again, at the same time, we've talked about this before. I think we've given him too much crap over the years. Like, again, we as in like, I'm talking about the collective fan base and following him. Like, this guy has done a lot, and like, it was kind of surreal. Like, when Carson, who oversees the communications, and obviously really appreciate him inviting us and creating these environments for us to do this. But when he talks about like all the division titles they've won and all the wins, like, he's fourth most wins in all of baseball since he came into the role behind the Rays, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. They're only 4 wins behind the Rays. They've made the playoffs in 10 of the 17 years he's been in charge. They've won 90 games.
Yeah, but like 10 of the last 17 years, but then like, I mean, like, it's impressive and all, but like, I think the last 5 years they made the playoffs once, and one of the
for sure, like, which is why it needs to change. Like, he has run his course a little bit. But also, okay, but like, so Samuel, I get that. Like, well, Jockey, sure, it did set him up for success, but it's not like Mo was a part of that group. Like, again, like, one of the things that Carson highlighted is Mo was the one running the drafts when they drafted Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. Like, we give Randy Flores all of his flowers, all the guys he drafts. Are we gonna give Mo his flowers for drafting Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina? Like,
we almost gave him flowers, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, he was a part of the people who part of that front office group who brought in Chris Carpenter and he's the one who traded for Matt Holliday. He flipped Jim Edmonds, who requested a trade for David Freese. He traded Colby Rasmus at the 2011 trade deadline for a bunch of what we thought scraps, and turns into winning them a World Series. Like, they did win a World Series under him. They did go to 4 straight NLCS under him. Like, I'm not trying to act like he's the best baseball executive of all time, but he is a Cardinal Hall of Famer, and he is one of the best executives in baseball history, or in Cardinal history. And I will say one of in baseball history, when you consider the fact that guys get hired and fired every 3 years. Like most guys barely make it past year 3 of their job running a show, year 5, and they get outed. Again, part of like if Mo's with a different organization, I don't know if he's there this long, but when you look at 2007 to 2015, like that is an actual like incredible run of leadership. And again, the ever since then, much more of a mixed bag. Totally agree. Lately, not great. Again, they need Bloom in here. My point is just I think looking back, I mean, you don't know how the Bloom era is gonna go, right? Like it could be poor. And
Is the Scherzer thing in the comments? Is the Scherzer thing? It's a DeWitt thing, right? That's not a Mo thing.
Yeah, that's one of the other things too. Like I'm sure he falls into it, but like the DeWitts have talked about, that's one of their greatest, like as an ownership group, one of their greatest frustration or one of their biggest regrets. And I think I don't know what offseason was, but a few years ago he kept talking about how their models gonna get tested and the price of pitching, like they're gonna match it. Like, gonna be honest, it feels a lot more like that's a DeWitt thing than a Mozeliak thing, that you don't want to spend big money on things. So
I mean, he also like recently has landed 2 Hall of Famers for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Which I mean, would I rather have Carson Kelly and Luke Weaver now or Paul Goldschmidt? Then I don't know.
Okay, but like 8 years later.
Yeah.
So
but also Carson Kelly's run is like, please, like, stop. Like that's not who he is. Anyway.
Yeah. So
or
like
the Cubs are gonna have a massive cheating scandal to show up. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not at all trying to say that we shouldn't give him flack for things. We shouldn't be frustrated by things. Again, I'm glad it's changing. Glad it's over. We spent the whole offseason ragging on him, and I don't really think it was unfair. My point is, it just is hitting me in that moment. Like it's kind of weird that he's gonna be gone, and I'm excited for the new, but it's okay. You don't have to agree with me. I'm gonna miss it a little bit, just a little bit. I'm gonna miss it a little bit. So I don't know.
It's You're gonna miss that pay from the front office for holding his water.
I will miss you, Mo. You can clip that, put it on socials if you want. So, I guess the other random thing too that I kind of took from that is someone asked him like who was a prospect that people should be talking about that he doesn't think most fans are aware of. And again, if you're watching this podcast, you're probably far more plugged in than the typical fan. So you've probably heard this name before, but I did kind of appreciate how excited he was about Reinel Rodriguez, except for the fact that he didn't know how to say his name. So Michael Sinisi 2.0. At least he owned up to it that time. He was like, I don't remember how to say his name. It was like Reinel. It's like, but man, like that's a guy. Cardinal fans, if you're not listening to or watching him yet, you better go be checking out his highlights in low A right now and following Kareem, Redbird Farmhands. These guys are kind of posting the stats because this dude's a barrel machine, exit velocity merchant. This dude looks like he's got legit power and knows how to use it. Getting in the air, getting some home runs rather than Jordan Walker beating into the ground. And Mo was even like, this guy's gonna be like, he'd be shocked that this guy's not a top 100 prospect and they'd be doing things wrong if he wasn't here soon. And I believe, I mean, I'm with him on that. Like some exciting things going down in minor leagues.
He had a 4-hit game today against the White Sox, but that's okay.
Hey, I do want to share. I don't know if you saw this quote yet, real quick in the chat, but did you see what Clayton Kershaw said?
What did he say?
So because they showed right before he went out to the mound today, they showed the Matt Adams 3-run homer. He goes, I think it was a little bush league, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries. Kershaw's a little
I don't know,
a little butthurt today about that one, but
I feel like that's something that a lot of teams do. I mean, the Padres did the crying Kershaw meme, and that didn't end well for them, I guess. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It seemed to fire him up because he sliced and diced the Cardinals today. Looked like prime Kershaw.
I don't even think he touched 90. Like this guy, like I don't know. I guess that's what we get cooked by, is soft tossing lefties.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like Kershaw could be like the actual goat of we see like what I'm talking about. Like he might pitch better than Prime himself if he kept signing 1-year deals and pitching against the Cardinals in his old age as a soft tossing lefty. If there's anyone
not in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if this Cardinal team can hit him, but anyways, it's fun times. Any other random things you want to talk about on the way out today?
I mean, it was just fun getting to see them. I'm a little tired because I've been out of the
Yeah.
country for so long, but yeah, it was fun getting to see a series win against a Dodgers team that I honestly thought was gonna just like after the last couple series, the Cardinals have been struggling a little bit. I was like, I don't know how this one's gonna go, but it seems like they rebounded nicely enough. Got a little bit lucky in some places, but
Yeah.
no,
Just quick view of the upcoming schedule. Obviously, you got Toronto coming into town on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they've been playing pretty well this year. They've got Milwaukee, who's been catching fire at Milwaukee, 4-game set this coming weekend. You get the White Sox, or you're going to the White Sox midweek next week. So hopefully that's a good series for Cardinals. And you've got the Reds and Cubs at home, followed by the Guardians and Pirates. July seems to get really a lot smoother because you get the Pirates, Cubs, Nationals, Braves before the All-Star break. Then you come out with the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, finally, the Padres, and the Marlins.
the Rockies have been playing better recently. They swept the Marlins.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think we should be comparing ourselves to the Marlins, but whatever.
Oh man. So All-Star break coming up soon.
Yeah.
Brendan Donovan hopefully starting the All-Star game, but Ketel Marte might have something to say about that. We'll see.
It's all fan voting. Ketel Marte is a household name. Brendan Donovan, unfortunately, I feel like it's not. But
yeah, which is frustrating, but we'll see. So appreciate the support as always, everyone. Like and subscribe helps channel a ton. We'll be back on Wednesday as per usual. But until then, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Mo.